The games industry has a word for what they do to you. They call it engagement. Psychologists have a different word for it. Exploitation. The zero manipulation score exists because the industry decided somewhere around 2010 that building a great game was harder than building a great trap. And they were right. A great game requires vision, systemic depth, mechanical honesty. A great trap just requires a variable reward schedule and a player who doesn't know what's being done to them. Let's run the audit. Loot boxes score a 2 out of 10 on zero manipulation. Not a 0, because technically you're receiving something. But the randomized reward structure is lifted directly from slot machine psychology. B.F. Skinner mapped this in 1957. Variable ratio reinforcement, unpredictable rewards at unpredictable intervals, produces the most compulsive, hardest to extinguish behavior patterns in existence. EA didn't invent this. They just decided a lab result from the 1950s was a viable monetization strategy. FIFA Ultimate Team alone generated over $1 billion a year running this exact mechanism on children. FOMO mechanics score a 1. Daily login rewards, limited time events, battle pass expiration timers, none of these exist to enhance your experience. Every single one exists to interrupt your life on a schedule the developer controls. Destiny 2 built an entire content model around the threat of disappearance. Buy this now or it's gone forever. That is not game design. That is a hostage negotiation where you paid $60 to be the hostage. Daily login streaks score a 3, and I'll explain the extra points. There's a version of this mechanic that's honest. Duolingo's streak system, for example, has genuine pedagogical logic behind it. Consistency builds skill. But when Diablo Immortal gives you a login reward that's meaningless without the surrounding pay-to-win structure, the streak isn't building anything. It's a leash. You're not playing because the game is good. You're playing because missing a day feels like losing something you already own. Here's what all three have in common. None of them make the game better. Pull the loot box out of Overwatch 2 and the core gameplay doesn't change. Remove the battle pass timer from Fortnite and the shooting mechanics are identical. Strip the daily login reward from every mobile game on the market and what's left is exactly what was always there, in most cases, very little. Because that's the point. These mechanics exist to manufacture value that the game itself cannot generate. They are a confession, in code, that the product isn't good enough to keep you coming back on its own merits. The studios that score highest on zero manipulation aren't saints. They're just confident. Elden Ring has no battle pass. No login streak. No loot box. It keeps you coming back because the world is extraordinary and the systems reward mastery. That confidence, the willingness to say the game is enough, is now a competitive differentiator. Which tells you everything you need to know about how far the industry has fallen. The verdict is this: dopamine is not a game mechanic. It is a neurochemical. And the moment a studio starts engineering around your neurochemistry instead of your intelligence, they have stopped making games and started running an experiment on you without your consent. The zero manipulation score exists to name that. Out loud, with specific numbers attached to specific studios. Because the first step to fixing a systemic problem is refusing to let the industry keep calling it a feature.